All right. Well, I am going to talk to you just kind of about some of the reasons why you want to do it and give you just a little bit of an illustration as to why and all of that kind of good stuff, right? But I am also at the end going to give you a little bit of word choices and things like that around it, right? So I did give this training on Monday for those of you that were on the leaders call. However, I was a little bit under the weather, so I'm hoping today might be a little bit better. So I literally rolled out of bed like 20 minutes before that training and I was like splashing water in my face. So I wasn't feeling very well. So hopefully today will be a little bit better. All right. So yeah, let me just kind of pull my notes over so I can follow along. All right. Okay. So I'm going to talk about recruiting today, and I am going to use a deck of cards, right? So I'm going to use a deck of cards, just kind of giving you a visual about recruiting and the numbers and things like that, because I've been in the business 18 years. It's been a long time, right? Not as long as some people on this call, just saying, Loretta, if Bonnie was on this call too. All right. But anyways, but when it comes to recruiting, many times over, the number one thing when I'm working with my team and I'm coaching with people about stepping up and doing things like that, the number one thing they say to me is, they get so discouraged because they don't think that it's working out. They're just like, I recruit people and they don't work out or they don't return my phone calls. And I'm like, how many people you recruited? They're like, two. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we got to keep going. And they're just like, but I recruited these two and they're not working. And I'm like, I know, but we got to keep going. And so it's hard to get people to kind of understand just like the amount of people that you want to bring into the business just to kind of get things rolling and to kind of get to those different levels that you see people succeeding at, right? So I'm using a deck of cards today to help with that illustration, right? So many where people recruit one or two people, they get discouraged that things aren't working out. And the truth is you must recruit a lot of people because a lot of people they aren't going to work out, right? And so Pam used to say, and she still says it from time to time, not as much. I swear it was like every other time she talked about recruiting, it was like recruit them all, like God sort them out, recruit them all, like God sort them out, right? And that was ingrained in me, right? So we're going to use a deck of cards. And in a deck of cards, there are 52 cards, right? And I also have the jokers in here. So that is 54 cards in total. All right. And jokers are normally bad cards, but in this case, they're good cards. Okay. So our jokers, they're going to be like our runners. These are going to be the people that come into our business that want to step up to director, right? That want to step up to these higher levels of leadership. Okay. So we have manager, star manager, executive manager, director, right? So these are the people that they want to work the business. They want to do parties and sell and get their commissions and step up all these levels, right? So those are our jokers, all right? Then we have our face cards. Our face cards, there are steady eddies. These are people that every single month they're working to get their commissions. They're recruiting people here and there. They're stepping up maybe to manager. They might even go to star manager. They might go higher, but they're just every month they're consistently working their business because they're counting on that commission too. They're paying some bills. They've got some things that they're working on their own for personal financial goals, right? And then we have our numbered cards, right? And those are our discount shoppers. They're our occasional participants, right? These are the people that kind of come in and they want to get a discount. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with coming in and wanting a discount because those people, we want them too. We need them on our team, all right? So you want to have a healthy team size to get that momentum, right? Because a healthy director team is actually about 50 people, okay? And don't be discouraged by that number because when you start, working the business and you're doing that work, you're working that one-to-one business plan that we talk about in Tupperware. And if you don't know what that is, you can ask for more details from your upline director, but it's basically, one party equals two datings from the party and one recruit lead from each party, right? So that's sort of the one-to-one plan, right? So when you're working that business, that momentum can build faster than you know it. And as you're recruiting people and you start getting these steady eddies, they're doing it too. You're starting to multiply, right? So you see how it can happen a lot faster than you think. So as long as you're just kind of keeping going and you're doing that, it can happen pretty fast. All right. So I'm going to start flipping over the cards so you can just kind of start to see. All right. So, okay. So now I need to actually see myself. So I didn't see myself because I was looking at my notes. Now I got to see what cards I'm flipping over. I guess I could look at them. All right. We'll have to do that. All right. So let me pull you guys over here. Let me pull you guys over to the side. All right, so I didn't think about that. All right, So first we have, all right, so we got a face card, right? So we're just gonna kind of keep going, all right? So we have our face cards, right? So we're kind of going through, we're looking for our, nope. All right, another face card, right? So we got our face cards. So we're still just recruiting, right? And we're mostly, look at this, we're just kind of, oh, we got a face card, right? So we're looking for that face card. So this is somebody, this is gonna be one of our steady eddies. Now, when you think about it, sometimes people come into the business and they come in for a discount, right? But then they end up becoming a king, a queen in your business, right? Sometimes they even become a joker, right? But sometimes, and then sometimes you recruit somebody in their face card and they end up kind of just becoming somebody who just doesn't even return your phone call. They could become somebody who ends up being somebody that's just a discount shopper, right? Something changes, something shifts in their life, and that's okay, right? So you just want to make sure that you're just keep going, right? So an ace, we're going to call that a face card, right? So it's normal to flip a lot of cards before finding what you're looking for, right? And so some may stay where they started, some may kind of go higher. The big thing is to keep your mindset in place, right? So that you're walking that path, right? So that you're going in that direction, right? So when I started in the business, I kind of joked that I was kind of like, I'm going this direction, right? And I'm like, I'm going here. So are you gonna come? No, you're gonna come. No. Okay, well, I'm going here and so I'm going to be over here. So if you want to come with me, just come, and some people kept up with me and some people didn't, right? So, and it's so important to realize that the team that gets you to your director numbers or to steps you up to manager or star manager, wherever it is that your goal is, that team is not necessarily the team that's going to keep you there, right? And so that's really important to know because a lot of times people, when they step up to the level of manager, they view that and they're just like, oh, phew, I've arrived. I'm a manager now. Nah, you got to keep going. In order to maintain in this business, you got to keep doing what you did to get there, right? In order to go the higher levels, you got to keep doing what you did to get there, right? And that's the name of the game, right? And that's exactly what you have to do. It's the same thing in your day job, okay? So people kind of, I say that to people sometimes and they're just kind of like, they are like, oh, I thought I just kind of would work a little and then I get paid and then I just keep going and I just keep getting paid. Well, I mean, if you stopped working your day job, do you think they'd keep paying you? No, they wouldn't keep paying you. So you got to keep going, right? So you want to invite people to join you. You want to have them keep joining you in the business, right? So you want to consistently be filling that pipeline, right? So it's important to know that all these people are important. Look, we got a joker, right? So that's exciting. And sometimes look how many cards we had to flip over even just to get to that joker, right? And so sometimes you turn over that joker right away. One of the first couple people you recruit, they're a joker, right? And they're ready to run. That's okay. That's awesome. You guys can run together, right? You can pace each other. You can run together. You can work this business together. And the big thing is that every month you look back, right? At the end of the month, you do a plan, do review, right? You plan, you set your clear goals for the month, right? You do that, you take those actions towards those goals, and then you review. And when you review, you have to honestly look back and be like, okay, so how did this go? How did I do? Right? And so when you look back and you're just like, you know what, I set out the month to recruit 5 people and I only recruited 2. So why did that happen? And you got to be honest with yourself. You're like, why did I only recruit 2? Well, I normally have 8 parties and I only had 4. Okay, so that's a problem, right? Because you weren't in front of enough people. Because in order to recruit 1, you got to talk to 10, right? So if you're only doing 4 parties, you think you're going to be talking to 40 people at those parties to get the 4 people? Maybe, but not necessarily. You might be talking to 40 people, but are you talking to them about the business? Like, are you having a real conversation about the business? And that's what's important to realize, And so there are times that, like, halfway through the month, I realize, like, okay, so I'm halfway through my parties. It's halfway through the month, and I still don't have a yes. And I'm not really having too many recruiting conversations. Maybe I need to go outside of my parties. And so that's when I need to kind of look at, like, what do I need to do outside of my parties? So do I start following up? I follow up with past recruit leads that I was like, hey, how are things? I'm just checking back with you because we got these special offers, or we have this new glass line, or we have this, or we have that, just because people's lives, they change, right? They change every 30, 60, 90 days. And so it's important to kind of check back with them, right? And one of the most important things that you can do when you're having recruiting conversations with people is to say, when they say no, say, is that no, not now, or no, not ever? Because when people say no, you immediately think they're saying no to you, right? And you take it personally. They're not saying no to you. And you won't know that until you say, is that no, not now, or no, not ever? Because when you ask that question, they'll go, oh, no, no, it's just no, not now. Because I stubbed my toe last week and I don't think I can walk for 6 months. And so I can't possibly work a business. Or they're going to say, I can't do it because I'm so overwhelmed right now and I can't possibly take anything else on. That has nothing to do with you, right? And so when you ask that question, you quickly realize that, and that will honestly make it so much easier for to keep going forward, right? So always have that conversation and never, ever, ever prejudge people. You always want to keep that door open, because circumstances change, right? Those circumstances change. And if you burn that bridge, right, they're not going to be open to that conversation. They're going to be like, yeah, I might do Tupperware later, not with her, right? They're going to be like, she was rude. She was flat out rude when I said no. She was like, she acted like I was the worst person ever, right? You don't want to do that. You want to be like, no, that's cool. I get it. I get it. It's got to be right time for you and for, everybody involved, right? So it's really important to do that. So check this out. I mean, look how far we've gone, and we've got a pretty good team here. So look at this. See, here's what's really important to realize. So even though, look at all these numbered cards, right? And so these numbered cards, they still help us meet our goals, right? Because these numbered cards, these are the people that sometimes put in an order at the last minute. These are the people that bought glass when the glass line came out. These are the people that sometimes when we have a big sale, like the sale that launched today or the sale that we had on Tuesday, these are some of the people that swoop in and they place an order. Those are the people that help us hit our goals too, okay? So that's why it's so important to, as Pam says, recruit them all and let God sort them out, right? So you want to celebrate all the types of people that you bring into the business as you're building that director team, manager team, whatever it is that you're going for. Because when you are working a business like this, right? I always say that, like, so when you're working a business like this, recruiting takes your commission or takes your paycheck from a wave to a wiggle, right? So when you don't have a team backing you up, right? Your commissions are like, the way you get paid is like a wave, because when you're working, you're getting paid really good, right? And then if you stub your toe and can't work that month, right, then your pay goes down, right? And so then when you're able to work again, like your time frees up again, your high pays high. And then if you get really bogged down, you got personal stuff going on, your pay goes down, right? But when you have a team of people that you're working with, that's working with you, right? That helps, because yes, you're still getting your commission. And even though your personal sales might be a little bit wobbly because of your own personal circumstances, you have this team that's working as well that you're getting bonuses on as well. And so that bonus is leveling things out, right? So that bonus is that steady amount that's coming in every single month. And so it kind of levels that out for you, and it's more consistent for you. And that comes through the recruiting. Because when I came into the business 18 years ago, I did not want anything to do with recruiting. And some of you are like, what? Right? And I've had, I mean, our organization at one point was $1.6 million, guys. And I'm the person who came in and told Pam Clift that I didn't want to recruit anybody. And you know why I didn't want to recruit anybody? Was because guess what? I recruited these people and they just didn't want to work. Do you know why? Because I didn't recruit enough, right? I was the person that recruited one or two people and was like, why aren't these people doing anything? Why am I not hitting my numbers? Because I wasn't recruiting the kings, the queens, the twos, the threes, the jokers. I wasn't recruiting in the numbers, right? I was recruiting a few. And then I was like, why isn't this working? It must be me, right? And I was getting down on myself. It must be me. It wasn't me. I just wasn't recruiting enough. I hadn't built my army, right? And so that's where recruiting comes in. So I just kind of wanted to just kind of like give you that visual of understanding. And and things are going to fall off. Some of these people are going to fall off, but as long as you're still going, you're going to keep putting them in and putting them in. And guess what? Some of these people, these kings and queens, the face cards, they're going to be recruiting too. So it's not just you, right? I mean, people would sit there and they would say, when they'd find out like a little bit about my organization and how big it was, and people would ask, how big is your organization? How many consultants do you have? And when I tell them the number, their eyes would bug out of their head. And I'm like, I didn't recruit all those people, just so you know. I'm like, just, I didn't recruit all those people. It's a group effort, and that's what it's all about. And that's what helps take your commission and all your pay from a big wave to more of a wiggle when it comes to recruiting. So I hope that that helps. And I did want to, so for word choices, right? So really quick, I don't do a lot of scripts or anything like that, but the word choices that I do use is if I could, would you? Right. And all it is I take whatever the objection is and I say, if I could, would you? So I say, so if somebody says, I don't have time. I say, if I could show you how to work this business in the nooks and crannies in your life, would you be open to learning more? Right. And if somebody says, I'm not techie. I'm not techie. I can't make graphics, but I don't have time to go out and do in-person parties. But so Facebook seems like the way to go. But I'm not techie, so I don't even know where to start. Right? I would say if I could show you some of the training that we have and some of the resources that are already done for you that you can plug and play. Would you be interested in learning more about how you could potentially build a business on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is that you're wanting to build on? So those are the words I use. If I could, dot, 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 would you, dot, dot, dot. And you can use that to literally overcome any objection and to just kind of keep that conversation flowing into the next. That's all I do. Okay, that's as close as you're gonna get to a script from me because everything is like totally out of pocket. Like I don't like everything's very circumstantial when it comes to when I'm talking to people about the business. So all right, there we go.